Yeah, the one game that sticks out of my mind, I would say Tennessee game. Because we should have won that game instead of tying it. Being up 31-17 with like 5 minutes left in the game. Our offense we couldn't get any more drives going in that time, and then our defense couldn't stop them. We stopped them. We probably undisputed national champions.
Well, I think the one game that really kind of sticks out that was the turning point for us was right after we had lost to Illinois. A game that we really shouldn't have lost. I think Bieniemy was leading and saying, "Hey, this ain't gonna happen again." Kind of ran out of gas in the fourth quarter, and even though that game was a loss, it was a great lesson to learn that we got to play for 4 quarters, or else we're not going to win the Big 8 championship, which at that time was what we were going for. We had no idea the national championship would come into the picture, but I think that game was really something you look back on, the flight home, that feeling of we had that thing, and I think it really turned our season around.
It was rocky, and 2 things happened. The end of the 89-90 season with the loss to Notre Dame, and the beginning of the 90 season with the 1-1-1 start. Those 2 sort of things, how we ended the season and started the season, made us grow up really fast. We thought, I think, a little bit, there was a sense of entitlement. We had arrived after the 89 season, having been undefeated, but lost to Notre Dame. I think there was a sense that that was just a mistake and that we just had to come back the following year and do it all over again. Now, having said that, we played some pretty incredible football teams to start the season with Tennessee, Stanford, and Illinois. But we had to grow up fast. And I remember after the 3rd game of the season, which left us 1-1-1 after the Illinois game, it was kind of an all hands on deck, either we're going to do this or we're not type of deal. Then we had Texas and Washington after that. So it didn't get any easier. In both of those games, we barely won. And so it was a season of trials and tribulations, but it was really a season of incredible growth and maturity of a program. We won in 89 because we had great coaches and great talent. In 90, we won a national championship because we had matured as a team that wasn't the hunter, but we were the huntee at that point. We didn't realize it at first, but we quickly discovered that.
Being the only national championship that is revisited so much that I don't think you can just single one game. And the journey that we took, whether it be starting the season with a tie and not having EB in that game, and then Michael Pritchard comes out of seemingly nowhere, and that wasn't just the media and the fans that thought, we as players didn't know that Mike could do that. Right. And then you start looking at him a little bit differently. And then Darian getting hurt, and then CJ stepping in and not missing a heartbeat. Then we lose. So we have a tie and we have a loss, and then we have a 5th down. So to say that there's one game, I think that's impossible to do. And it was just a magical season.
Well, obviously, when you talk about that 90 season, and I had the pleasure and the challenge, if you will, at the same time of playing behind, I think, the greatest option quarterback to ever play college football in Darian Hagan. But having played the option, we knew that there were times when I was going to have to play because it took such a physical toll on you. The Washington game, Hagan got injured. It was the game before Missouri. That's how I ended up starting the Missouri game. But the Washington game I had to finish. And there were some important plays during the course of that game that we had to execute in order to secure victory there. Then, of course, the 5th down was, you won't let me forget about it, right? So it is what it is.
What I remember is miserable weather conditions, just sleet, and it felt like it was like 28 degrees, and we were all just drenched to the bone. And EB had fumbled 4 times in the first half. And so we go in at halftime, and as a man in the offensive line, coaches start talking about changes, and we all just said, no, we are kicking their ass. We're not changing a damn thing. All we're changing, and we all just kind of looked at EB and said, hold on to the damn ball and we'll win. And that was pretty much halftime. And then we went out and we did the same damn thing and he scored 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and we win.
Yeah, I remember going into that game. Coach Barnett, he was a guy that wanted to make sure that we were focused and we were concentrating game by game, week by week. But I remember him coming in there in the quarterback room telling us, these guys are lost. We got to go out and we got to win this game so we can, play for the national championship again. And that's what we did. We knew we had an opportunity to play for the national championship again. We were kind of, down a little bit, not playing with, great emotions in the first half. It was raining, it was cold. And then once we got in there and Coach Mack talked to us and we just all forged together and we knew we could win the game if we just played, we played with a little bit more emotion.
I remember halftime or Hagan getting hurt. It was the final offensive play of the first half. And I thought for certain that halftime, a full half, a full quarter, if you will, to get him upright and ready to go again. And all my teammates and coaches were saying, CJ, you ready for it? You've done great all year. Let's go. But I'm thinking, nope, Hagan is going to come out and lead us to victory. Just the realization that wasn't going to be the case, and I had to step in. It's a big moment for me, obviously, but it was a big moment for our team and of course, the history of our program.
It doesn't bother us at all. The reason why it doesn't bother is because I feel we were slighted, and we were slighted by the guys down north, up north, because they, I don't know if they thought they were better than us. They should have deserved to be in that game, but they didn't. They didn't beat us. We beat them handily in their stadium, and to not get a vote from them, that kind of hurt us a little bit. Yeah. But no, we're not bitter. We still went out there and strapped it on and played with our with our emotions and our heart, and we won games, and we were there right where we should have been.
Oh my God, it was awesome. I mean, the guys that we went through that with, and especially to look at just the talent, not that you're not talented if you don't make it in the NFL, but the number of guys that continued to play is just amazing. We were loaded. We thought the year before we were destined with the rallying around Sal and 11-0, that kind of perfect dream season, and that didn't work. And we ended up losing. And then to go through all the adversity that we did, it just seemed that wasn't our focus. Our focus was to get better, and it just ended up just perfect.